Hey guys, this is Christy Robinette of ChristyRobinette.com, and as promised, I told you that I was going to talk a little bit about the full moon that's coming up. It's actually coming up on April 4th, and it is a blood moon in the sign of Libra. It is also called the pink moon for those that follow the Farmer's Almanac, and it is an intense one. And I don't like being all, doom and gloom, and I don't like being so foreboding with it. But this moon is especially dangerous. And I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the astrological elements to it because most of the time I don't even understand it. I tune more into the energy of it rather than the planets that it's affecting and the different signs and moons and all of that stuff. That's too mathematical for me. But it is a moon that is actually it's the shortest eclipse they say that we're going to have, and we're probably not going to see it here in the US. However, we may see a partial eclipse for about 3 minutes on April 4th. And this one I'm a little bit worried about. Typically, when I see a moon like this, we end up with some very difficult weather. We see some worldly events that's newsworthy. And since it falls in the astrological sign of Libra, Libra is all about fairness. Well, there's a battle that's going to be happening with regards to that justice and that fairness. And in a worldwide way, it makes me a little bit concerned. I would say never to stop, living because of what your horoscope might say. And I'm going to say the exact same thing. But with you in particular, I want to give you a little bit of caution. And those are you're going to want to get into arguments this whole week and the beginning of next week. And we're falling right in the midst of Easter. So you're going to be seeing lots of family members, right? Many of you. And so zip it as much as you can. Now, I don't want you to go against your truth, but I'm afraid that this moon is going to impact people in a Jekyll and Hyde type of a way. So you may not be yourself. You may not feel like yourself. And so you may say things that you regret. So make sure that you're extremely careful with regards to speaking your mind, and maybe speaking your mind way too bluntly. So the arguments, the disagreements, be very cautious. Watch your travels, especially if you're driving in a car. There's a potential for, an incident such as a speeding ticket. Or a car accident, so be extra cautionary. You'll probably run into a lot of people that have road rage or are just plain stupid. So it is April Fool's Day after all. And so pretty much taking that into context, it's going to be April Fool's week. And there's going to be a lot of craziness that occurs. So it's pretty much having patience, and it is kind of laying low under the radar as much as you can. I saw a quote in a blog this morning that said something like, nobody ever looks in the mirror and sees themselves as the villain. And so you're going to run into a lot of people that are going to think that you're the villain. And when really the moon is about looking within oneself, the full moon is, and acting as a mirror. And so when people who aren't happy with themselves are seeing what they're seeing, they're going to lash out and they're going to blame you. So it's being really, really cautious. Like I said, you're probably already being affected by it right now. That sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? You're being affected by this right now. But it's really, again, I'm all about being prepared in lieu of all of you saying, Christy, why didn't you warn me about this? And so I'm warning you. I still want you to live, though. I just want you to double check your emails. I want you to make sure that what you're saying or responding to is kind instead of defensive, because it's going to be easy to be defensive this next week. So, on that note, I will write more about the full moon as it comes up and some soul work and some exercises that can be done in order to help get through this. Remember, I always believe in you. Always, always. Take care.